My name is Matt Schmidt, and I guide people to heal themselves. Today, we're going to be talking about neuroplasticity, and I've entitled this Neuroplasticity for Beginners, because people like to complicate simple things. Although this is a fascinating topic, we're going to cover just the simple things and what you need to know and how you can use it to your advantage. Neuroplasticity is the ability to grow or restructure the neural networks in your brain. Okay, kind of like rewiring your brain, if you think of it in terms of like electronics. Um, the science used to think that it was impossible once damage was done to a part of the brain that it was impossible for it to regenerate or regrow. But the cool things about our bodies is they're adaptable. Yeah, even these neural networks in our brain. I was first kind of introduced to this when I was in grad school, and we were looking at the brain patterns of long-term drug addicts. So they used to think that once these drug addicts, had done damage to their brain, that it was impossible for these systems to regenerate. But the cool thing is they did these PET scans. That's positron emission tomography. PET scans that lit up different parts of the brain. So it basically showed where the damage was and what things were activated when these people were triggered by certain things. So they take them to different locations. I don't know, different places where they used to buy drugs, different houses where they were associated with drugs, and then it showed these parts of the brain would light up. Well, after years of reprogramming that and doing different things and replacing those pathways with those triggers, after I don't know, after a certain amount of time, they would bring those people back to those locations, and it no longer had that same trigger. That connection wasn't made anymore. If it was still it was very weak. And it showed that your brain actually regenerated and restructured and regrew around these damaged areas, and actually did repair some of those areas, which that wasn't previously known. So I found that fascinating. Um, the other cool example I'm going to share with you is um, the called echolocation. So there was a guy who had lost his lost his vision, and at a very young age, and he actually makes clicking sounds and uses echolocation in order to navigate. He can even sense textures. He can get a whole layout of an area just by clicking his tongue, and it actually rewired around to the parts that he would normally use for vision. So this is just fascinating to me. Um, it shows that neuroscience shows us that 95% of our lives are controlled by our subconscious mind. That programming in the back of our mind. Um, we talk to the same people, go the same way to work, have the same things in our lunch, um, have the same conversations with the same people, and we're not really living life. You're just running on that autopilot mind. Science refers to this as the default mode network. Basically, it's just running a program and responding based on what you're expected to say or what people expect you to do, and you're not actually doing anything different. So there are some good things to this. It does serve a purpose. Think about the first time you drove a car. Okay, there's a lot of knobs and pedals and gauges, and it's overwhelming. Now that you've been driving a car so long, that programming's in there. You can space out for 20 minutes and you get there just fine. But basically, your subconscious mind is operating that vehicle. So I run into this a lot when I do healing work. Okay, you can't expect to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. That's just kind of crazy. So a lot of people don't want to change anything in their life because they're uncomfortably comfortable. Um, so they don't do anything different. Even Einstein said that you can't expect to solve a problem from the same level that the problem was created at. You have to observe from a different level. So how does this pertain to you, and what can you do? So a lot of people have been discussed about doing like plant medicine and all these things, which are great, but it's even simpler than that. A lot of people complicate these things, but basically just do something different. Take a different way to work. Put on different color socks. Eat something different. Have a different conversation with the same person that you usually talk to, and watch where it goes. This is fun to play around with. You can completely control this because they're operating from their default mind, okay, out of their subconscious mind. So they're just responding to whatever you're saying. So like you can totally determine where this conversation goes by changing what people expect you to say. Okay, this may be scary at first, but this is the first step. Okay, you have to basically step into the unknown. Okay, do something different. Break down those patterns. Okay, and this is the beginning to breaking those old cycles, creating new ones. I know they seem insignificant, but it's causing that shift into like opening up to something new, and then you can tackle bigger and bigger things, and you'd be amazed at how those things change your life. All right, that's all I got. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.